What's up guys, Overman here, and today I just wanted to talk to you about Bungie's weekly update that they put up yesterday, and they were talking about the patch 1.1.1 again, and how they're in the final steps to making it a reality. So in addition to including those weapon tuning changes, Bungie's also adding matchmaking to the weekly heroic strikes. Personally, I really like this, because sometimes I find myself in a situation where I run the Nightfall with people who don't want to run the weekly, and then I'm screwed if I want to run the weekly myself. I might have to solo it, and if I try to jump on Destiny LFG, a lot of people aren't there trying to run the weekly heroic because they just run it with the people they run the Nightfall with. So I'm definitely glad that this option is in the game. But speaking of options, there's no longer an option to solo the weekly heroic. Now, I've seen on some forums that this is a problem for some people. Some people like to use the weekly heroic for various reasons and they like to solo it. So I really don't know why Bungie couldn't just make it so that you could choose to solo it, or you can choose to jump into matchmaking. It's kind of bizarre to me that they didn't foresee this as a problem. Like I said though, for me it's not a big deal, but I see that for other people it is. But this matchmaking system will be exclusive to the weekly heroic, and it will not include the Nightfall nor the raid. Personally, I think this is a really good idea, and I totally understand why they don't offer matchmaking for the Nightfall or the raids, and I totally understand why Bungie doesn't want matchmaking for raids and Nightfalls, because for the Nightfall, you really want to know what your teammates have. You want to know that they have good gear, and you might not want to be paired up with people who are running crappy gear, and those people can jump into the Nightfall matchmaking and get paired up with anybody. So I totally understand why they don't want to put a matchmaking system in for that. Now for raids, I completely understand why they don't put in a matchmaking system for the raids, and if you've played the raids, you probably understand what I'm talking about. If they put matchmaking in for the raids, people would just click on it and jump into the matchmaking, and you'd be thrown in there with randoms, people who don't have mics, people who don't know what they're doing. You won't know what gear they have, you won't know if they're experienced or not, you won't know anything about them. You're just gonna be thrown in there with totally random people, and it will probably suck. And as soon as things go wrong, people are probably gonna leave. People probably won't listen to your tips or your advice. It's just gonna be a mess. I totally understand them not putting in matchmaking, because it's just gonna be a frustrating experience. But then I also understand the other side of the argument. A large amount of people feel like they're locked out of a large amount of content in the game. The biggest end game content is the raids, and they feel like they can't play it because they can't have 6 people on at the same time, or they just don't have 6 friends that play Destiny, or whatever the case might be, and they just really want to play the raid and get the rewards. I totally get that, but at the same time, matchmaking isn't gonna solve that. But there is something in between that will solve it. So the way I get raid groups together is I jump on Destiny LFG, or I just look around in the tower, see who's got good gear, and then I invite them to my fire team. And that system usually works out pretty well, and I think that system is totally superior to a matchmaking system that will throw you in with random people. I think for raids and Nightfalls, you really should be choosing who's in your fire team. That being said, Destiny really needs an in-game LFG system. It's pretty pathetic that I have to leave, get on my computer just to find a group, and I can't do it inside the game. And I understand that there's probably some limitations that they're working with. The tower can only hold 16 people, so a lot of times you're not going to be able to find a raid group from one tower visit. A lot of times if you're exclusively using the tower, you'll have to invite some people from the tower, a couple people will join you, you'll go to orbit, join another tower, wait for that to get populated, and repeat the process over and over again. And that's pretty garbage, I think. Like many other people have said, I think Destiny needs a new hub area, or the tower needs to be upgraded to have a little area where everyone can go as like a little LFG spot, maybe a bar or a club or something of that nature, and Guardians can go and inspect one another, check out each other's gear, hook up, and go do their activities together. And that way everyone has an area to go and congregate and form their groups however they would like. And with this, we would solve the problem of being locked out of content, but also solve the issue with matchmaking that throws you in there with complete randoms. I think this would be a really happy medium, and it would really benefit Destiny in the long run. Some other minor points in the weekly update were that Xur will stop forgetting to bring his exotic engrams, so that means Xur will have an exotic engram every week. So once again, Bungie has watched my videos and implemented the changes that I have suggested, so hopefully they watch this video and implement the hub area that I suggested as well. Also, Iron Banner will be seeing some greater map variety, which is a welcome change. I am tired of playing the same maps over and over. It's like 2 maps all night. I can't remember the names or else I would totally blast them, but I can't remember. But if you've been playing Iron Banner, I'm sure you know the names of the maps too. Also, they said that they'll give us new bounties, which is great because it'll give us more control over which weapons we choose to use, and we're not pigeonholed into using auto rifles and machine guns, which is really freaking annoying. However though, it would have been nice if this patch had dropped before Iron Banner had started so we could have seen all of these changes. It's a shame that it probably won't drop until Iron Banner leaves. Also, in the Strike playlist and the Crucible playlist, maps will be less likely to repeat themselves when you stay in matchmaking, which is a welcome change because every time we run the same strike 2 times in a row in the Vanguard Rock, I'm sure 1 or 2 people leave the fire team, and it's really annoying because it really increases the amount of time it takes to complete that strike with 1 or 2 less people, and most of the time it's me by myself and I just end up leaving too. Also, Bungie says that Grimoire cards will drop when you expect them to, so I'm guessing that was a glitch where you wouldn't get the Grimoire cards when you completed the challenges, so that's nice to see. Well, that's all I got for this video. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to smash that like button, and if you're not feeling too shy, drop a comment below and let me know what you think about matchmaking in Destiny. And of course, subscribe for more videos like this in the future. That's it for me. Overman out.